I'm so glad to be here, guys. Thanks for bringing me to Kansas City. I really appreciate it. And John, I mean, we're buying all these houses. I'm so happy to be here. Just can't wait to see all these houses today. I'm going to go out. I'm going to look at it. I'm excited. My guys are looking forward to this.
Well, we're looking forward to having the Canadian market move into Kansas City, Missouri. We're seeing the opportunity in Kansas City going faster, steadily moving at a good pace.
Tell me why Kansas City. What's so good about Kansas City?
Well, instead of the peaks and valleys that happened in California where we had large appreciation and then a huge drop, Kansas City stayed very steady.
Right.
So with that steady market, we really haven't had the huge losses in the real estate market. We have had a lot of foreclosures, which has given us great opportunities to buy houses in Kansas City and deliver good cap rates. But we're seeing growth in our economy. Cerner, a medical data software company, is growing and building a whole new facility out by the Bannister Mall. Of course, we have the Kansas City Royals here, which draws a lot of attention. We're all huge Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Nice.
Of course, Arrowhead's very nice.
Sporting KC, we just won the Cup, MLB or Major League Cup.
Actually, Zac and I, when we were out one night at the Capitol Grill, the guy brought the cup to the table.
The owner.
The owner of the and Zac got the drink out of the cup. I said, bring the cup on over. And Zac brought the cup over, brought the chalice, and got the drink right out of it. But what we're seeing in Kansas City is the area is growing. Okay. Not only in size, but with jobs.
Right.
Boeing has came in, made a large development center to build airplanes. We have the biggest transit with Kansas City Southern Railroad, Burlington Railroad. We have the hugest logistic with Prime Trucking. Just a multitude of different transportation and jobs that have made Kansas City grow.
So what? Tell me a little bit about the areas. You know, just paint a picture for me. So downtown Kansas City, Missouri. Mm-hmm. We're talking about Missouri, right?
Not Kansas.
Yeah. So downtown, and then just paint a picture northeast, southwest, and then the outskirts, and tell me a little bit about the area, because that's important for me.
Well, if you were to take a pin and drop it right in the middle of Kansas City, Missouri, you could take a circumference of 45 miles and work around.
You can take what?
Make a circumference. You can draw a big circle. Yeah, big word, man. Basically, make a circumference of the area. Basically, that area is the 435 circle. We like to stay within that 435 circle.
What's a 435?
435 is the interstate that travels around the city. So it goes north, south, east, and west.
It's actually a highway?
It is. And it travels in one big circle. It takes you from the north side of town, east side of town,
and it's just basically
the west side of town.
It's a big circle.
You can continue to drive around it 24 hours a day if you'd like to.
That's what you did yesterday.
You just drive 435 and just keep moving around in circles. But what we're seeing is if you go 2 hours out from Kansas City, you're in farmlands.
Yes.
You're in rural areas.
Okay.
So we're trying to target areas within inside of that 45-mile radius. Hit the suburbs. We're seeing a lot of the inner city grow out, just like any other city. Our population's growing. Everyone's starting to move out to the suburbs.
Is it more desirable to be in the suburbs than in the city?
It is. Okay. It is. And the reason why is the school districts.
Yes. Okay.
The school districts. And, of course, the crime rate's a lot lower when you get out in the middle of the city. So we're going to try to stay, with our company, Prime Realty Group, we want to stay in areas that's easy for us to manage. We don't want to create problems. If I rehab a house, Zac's in charge of our construction management. Jason's in charge of property management and leasing. We just don't want to create a problem and put it on Jason's desk. Second, want to construct the problem and have it move over to my problem with sales and client relations. So we have true synergy here in our corporation with our three, different styles.
So if you're a like private investment fund members, if they were here, some of the things that they would wonder is, what's the risk? What's the risk are we taking by investing in Kansas City, but also why this team?
Why this team would be the expertise.
Okay.
Zac went to school and got a degree, actually, in construction management.
Really?
We've worked together for about 15 years now.
Wow.
We started in the mortgage business. We moved ourselves into where we had 15 loan officers and 20 telemarketers. At that point, things were going very well, but we noticed in 2008, people weren't lending money. They weren't giving away those stated income fog and mirror type of loans. Jason was a real estate agent working in $400,000 subdivisions,
right,
building new construction like crazy. So the three of us working together is bringing you the expertise and the knowledge in the market. Not only that, we have the expertise, we're playing with our own money, Sunil.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm borrowing the bank's money. We actually use our own funds, and we invest in what we are going to sell.
Okay, so Zac, I mean, so you're the guy who actually goes and buys these properties, correct?
Yeah, we'll go out, we'll scout them. It's a team effort. Jason being the broker, on any listings that are multiple MLS listings, I'll go out, scout the properties, put a scope of work together, and off that scope of work, we come up with an offer on a property, and within the we get it under contract. We have a 10-day due diligence clause, and then we can come in with the inspectors and the tradesmen to specifically find, how much it's going to cost for these problems to make it pass an ASHI inspection. Because that's kind of the Bible of it. Of any kind of property, you want it to pass a full inspection.
Yes.
We also do, in two other acquisitions, we do direct mailers.
Yes.
Out to the people that possibly want to sell their house or have a low mortgage amount where we can pick it up. We deal with a lot of trustees and do the trustee auctions like you were at today.
So how do you know to buy the house? Like,
there's got to be.
Let's say today we went out. I mean, I was really excited with this whole thing, and I wish all my friends were there to see how it was a lot of fun, but it was a lot of work too.
Yeah.
So tell me how did you know to buy that house?
Well, it's all about research. You go through the trustees, and there's 10 trustees, and they have publications that come out, and you got to go through and go to their website every day to see what their opening bid amount is.
Right.
If their opening bid amount looks like a good number that we can start off with, and there's going to be some meat on the bone for us and for an investor or someone else we flip the house to, if it was a larger home, there's got to be enough room and spread in the deal to even go up to the auction and bid on it. And then once you get to the auction, you're bidding against 2 or 3 people. So, we have our number, and we can't go past that number. So,
but how do you know? But how do you know to buy that house in the first place?
Let me tell you how I think we figured it out.
What?
Zac kind of has perfected how to get inside of the property and determine whether it's a loan,
a way to do that,
or high rehabilitation.
Yeah.
So as soon as the publication comes due, Zac's running out to the property saying, "John, this thing's a matchstick. Don't buy it. I know it looks good in comparables, but it's going to take us $100,000 to get it there." But he walks up to one today and says, "Man, John, this thing's a jewel." I walk inside. All we have to do is replace the mini blinds. Go get it. So, we get that type of due diligence up front.
So it's a lot of research up front. Then you have to go out and actually physically go to the houses, walk the houses, do a scope of work, make sure your scope of work and the amount you're willing to offer is going to fit the model where the investors can get the returns they want and the appraised value has to be there as well.
Of course.
Yes.
So you're looking for the real value. But you actually go on, you actually look at the house, even though, do you have a lot of time, or usually it's like, okay,
Normally 48 hours about?
Yeah, generally the opening bid amount comes out between 24 and 48 hours, so you have very limited time to go out. A lot of times you have to get up at 6 in the morning to go out and check out the properties. You got to go to the bank to get the cashier's checks for the full amount.
Do the scope of work.
So it's
what's a scope of work?
Well, the scope of work is basically an estimate of how much it costs for the repairs.
How many properties have you guys done in the last year or two?
We've been basically running about 60 to 70 homes per year.
60, 70 years.
60, 70 per year.
Rehab. Put tenants in it.
Yes, turnkey.
Sell to investors. I think last year we did like 75 75, 74, 75.
We did 76.
76.
I'll pat my back on that.
So
one.
if we buy 100 more houses, that's doable, correct?
Yep. You just got to go down and borrow more money from the bank.
and that's where the biggest component that came to the table was Jason.
I see.
When Jason
You're
came,
the biggest component.
He is.
I thought.
He is.
Okay, all right.
No, property management, not just necessarily Jason, but property management brought our business full circle.
Majority of the time, I've got tenants placed before the house is done. I really do.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Well, it's because I've got people calling in on other houses that have already rented out. So
how are they calling you in first place?
Craigslist, Trulia, Zillow, our website, referrals,
Oh, cool.
because we're managing 165 houses. So all of our tenants, majority of them are pretty happy with us. So
Nice.
we get a lot of referrals from them.
Okay.
I bet we've got 5 or 6, 7 whole families that we rent to. Grandma, mom, aunt, cousin, daughters, the whole works. So what I'll do is I'll get a phone call. I'll see one that's on the board that we're working on. It's being remodeled. I'll give them the address, let them drive by it. Then basically if they're interested, I'll start running all their criteria. We have a software, it's public information, it's called CaseNet. That's the first thing I do. That way I can go on there, run their name before I even show them the property.
Right.
Make sure, they don't have any felonies or evictions or anything like that. And then after that, make them fill out an application. And then I'll go meet them at the property, show it to them. If they are interested, then I'll run their credit and do background check and do that whole works.
So what are you looking for in a tenant? Let's say, I don't know most of it, but let's hear from you.
No evictions really, or at least in the last 6-7 years.
Okay.
Look for a credit score 600 or better.
600 better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Job history,
Yes.
of course. That's
Yes.
a big one. Make sure we like to see at least 2-3 years in job history.
Okay.
Make sure they bring us up our pay stubs, W-2s, all that stuff.
What's a W-2? Just in case they're not from U.S.
Basically, just their tax returns, show how
Okay.
much they make for the year.
Okay.
So that's the main steps right there.
Okay, and so they fill out the application. Is there? How do you do your due diligence on them, or do you check any reference? Like, how do you do this?
I'll do a verification of rent.
Okay.
So I find out their last 2 current landlords, and what I like to do is I like to go to their furthest landlord, not their most recent one.
Okay.
And get verification. Try to get verification from both of them.
Right.
Verify their job. The thing is with the job, if you call them, they're not going to tell you how much they actually make.
No.
That's why you got to see their pay stubs.
Right.
Yeah, just really check them out that, and then plus their credit report that we do.
So do you actually meet them?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We make them come up here to do it all.
Okay.
They have to bring a copy of their ID.
Okay.
That's when they bring their pay stubs and all that stuff too, so we can make sure they really are who they say they are.
Really treat it like a loan application because you
Yeah.
come from a loan background.
Yeah.
Put them through the same stringent
Requirements.
requirements.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what I'm talking about here is not the houses that are in the city that are maybe in areas that are a little harder to rent sometimes, and there's different style of tenants. But we're talking about houses that are in the $90,000, $100,000 range to our members. They're a little bit better. They're outside, in the outskirts. How long normally does it take to get them rented?
I'd say it never takes longer than 30 days after rehab.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
No.
And the rehab takes how long? On a 3-4 bedroom house.
on an average home, with a medium rehab, right about 30 days. So our goal is as a company, hey, be done with rehab in 30 days, start pre-marketing a week before or so, and then he'll have it rented out within 30
30
days.
more
So
days. So we're talking
usually
60 days.
60-day turn time to get a tenant in it, rehab and a tenant in place. The only difference, I guess, we still keep the same stringent guidelines on the rental applications for the suburban homes versus the citier homes.
Sure.
They just got to make more money.
That's right.
And
That's right.
what's happening, Sunil, in the areas that are better for your clients at PIC, they're wanting to move into those areas. Everybody's wanting to improve. They might not be able to qualify for a loan. So as soon as Zac's getting done with construction, Jason already has them looking at the property,
Right.
and they're instantly going, man, I want to be in this nice, beautiful
I
neighborhood.
think those are almost easier to rent out because
Yes.
everybody wants to be there and people want to get into the better school districts.
Absolutely.
Especially, people that are living in the city that have the opportunity to go to the suburbs to get their kids into better schools. That's where they want to be. And long-term renters. That's what it turns into.
Yeah.
So,
How do you keep your renters, a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, the type of houses that we're looking at, $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 to the end, to my investors? How do you keep them? Oh, not how you keep them. How long do they stay?
I'd say average in suburbs, probably 4 years.
4 years.
Yes.
Wow.
We've got some that I don't think I've been told that you're gonna have to carry my dead body.
Yeah. It's a good problem.
It
to
is
have
a
for
good problem.
investor, right?
Absolutely.
But I just want to hear you tell me. So if I buy it, what happens from that day on, from a management point of view, and what happens every month.
Yep, you'll get set up with we have a property aware system. It's called property software for our property management company. It's called Property Aware.
Okay.
Each owner's set up with a user and login information. They'll be able to go in. They'll be able to print off statements. They'll be
Cool.
able to check maintenance, any
Nice.
maintenance issues that's been on. They'll also say I create a maintenance. Say someone calls in and says the toilet's backed up.
Yes.
I'll create a maintenance. Basically, in the property warehouse, create a work order is what it's called, and the owner will get email showing that there's been a work order created. They can approve it, they can not approve it. A lot of times they'll call, say, hey, what's the deal? Or we'll call them, explain them the process, the situation. And then basically we have all of our statements get mailed, emailed, however they sign up for them to receive them. Those go out on the 15th.
15th of each month?
Each month, yes.
Okay, cool. And then basically it's get collected by when?
Our cutoff date's the 10th, so that
Okay.
gives us 5 days to reconcile
Okay.
and do
Okay.
statements. So we like to, after the 5th, we start charging late fees. So we
Okay.
have a 5-day grace period, and then it's
Okay.
$5 a day. for late
$5 a
fees.
day.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
The American dream is, of course, is always to move upward and onward.
Yes.
So we feel like we're providing with the upper end market or the rental market, we're providing someone a great service by putting them into a good quality property. They're basically coming out of a distressed market. Everybody had lost their jobs. Everybody's seeing this market meltdown, and had this fear. But in Kansas City, it held very steady. So now we're being able to replace and put them in affordable housing. It isn't like Toronto, where you're a 3-bedroom, 4-bath house going to run you $4,000 a month in rent. We can give them a nice large home with a good backyard, brand new appliances, brand new hardwood, and rent it to them for $1,000 a month.
Yeah,
They're
that's-
appreciative.
exactly.
It's just the cost of living. The $100 is worth a lot more here.
That's unbelievable. So what makes the team here? What makes the team good or great or whatever, however you want to describe yourself? 3 of you guys. I mean, there's more, I know. There's more people.
Communication.
Yeah.
Being able to, and working together for many years and knowing what our responsibilities and roles are of this job. And
Do you actually like these guys?
He calls me, I'm his office wife. That's what he calls me, his office wife.
That's true,
So,
actually.
Okay.
I think what makes our team good here is our diversification.
Yes.
I'm very good with the client relations, very good with having the sales. Jason's great with property management. He's able to take the leasing department and just run with the real estate.
Yes.
Zach's good with the construction, making sure that middle process of building the home, acquiring the home gets finished, and turning it over to Jason to rent and giving it off for me to sell. So the 3 of us can really go out, deploy, handle our jobs, come back and report to each other, and know what each other's doing without really talking to each other. Kind of have that ET extraterrestrial sense
Exactly.
going on. We can have ESP and know what each person's doing because each one of us are involved in the transaction on a daily basis.
That's cool, man. So there's a relationship I see between all
Yes.
3 of you. So it's not only just about making money, but there's you know
We're
what, you
working
guys are
together.
funny.
As your favorite word is plurking.
Plurking. There you
Plurking.
go. Yesterday we talked about it, and he adopted the word plurking.
Yeah.
So good. Thank
Yeah.
you.
We all love our job. We love real estate. It's our passion. So we're bringing that passion to your club.
Absolutely.
And we're hoping to bring that passion to your real estate investors too. We're not wanting to be in the game for 1 year. We're looking to be here for forever.
Yeah.
We're helping the community a lot. I mean, we've rehabbed and managed now 60 homes, which means 60 families are dependent upon us.
Yes.
And
Had the local news station contact us even at one point and wanted to go around and see exactly what we were doing.
yeah, we've had a lot of interest from outside groups and just wanted to know what we're doing. And imagine how a guy from Kansas City met a guy from Toronto.
Yeah.
How that happened, right? So we finally have met together, and we're going to bring this model to Canada and offer you guys a great product that's going to produce.
Yes.
And more importantly, be full disclosure and let you see what's going on.
Absolutely.
Let you know what's going on with the house. Let you understand the market and educate you about your real estate investment. I think you're a very great educator and keeping your clients informed, and
Keep going.
me and you keep moving forward.
Keep going. Don't
He
stop.
loves it. He
Keep
loves
going.
it.
Keep topping them up. Go ahead.
Keeping the education, educating you to educating your buyers, and to
Yeah.
make sure that we can keep them in full circle, man.
Well,
It's
one
just
day
the
we're
point.
going to bring you too. We're going to bring all
That'd be
three of you.
exciting.
Yeah, we're going to get you to Toronto, and you're going to, I want you to meet, people that I know, and they're not just members. You'll see, they're like it's a family. It's like a big family. It's a family.
That's
You
And
know,
that's
they
what
like-
we strive for on both sides with the renters that we have and with the owners. It's a long-term relationship,
Yes.
and
Yes.
so we treat everybody with the respect that we treat our own family.
Well, I think should we start taking a look at some properties
Yeah,
and
let's-
showing these people exactly what type of inventory and taking
Absolutely.
it back to Canada with you with some good video recording of what they're purchasing and showing the rehabilitation work that we got and the houses that we're providing.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Good, man.
All right. Good
All
job,
right.
guys.
All right.